The wow signal. In 1977, a radio telescope in Ohio was doing something boring, quietly scanning the sky, listening for any signal from deep space. For years, it had heard nothing but empty noise. Then, for exactly 72 seconds, it heard something else. A signal so strong, so clean, and so perfectly shaped that it looked like nothing in nature could produce it. When astronomer Jerry Eamon saw the printout the next morning, he circled the numbers in red pen and scribbled a single word beside them. Wow. The name stuck. The signal came from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, and it arrived on a frequency scientists had long believed would be the perfect channel for an alien civilization to use. A quiet band that space itself keeps clean. It was exactly where we had said to look. And then, it was gone. Astronomers aimed every instrument they had back at that same patch of sky. They listened for hours, for days, for decades. The signal never returned. Not once. Astronomers have spent nearly 50 years trying to kill this mystery. They've blamed spinning comets, secret military tests, reflections off space debris, and one by one, every explanation has been quietly taken apart. Jerry Eamon himself spent the rest of his life refusing to call it aliens, but he also refused to explain it away. He simply couldn't. To this day, no natural source has ever fully explained it. Not a comet, not a passing satellite, not a star. We have a single 72-second recording of the strongest unexplained signal ever caught from space, and we will probably never hear it again. Whatever sent it, if anything did, spoke to us exactly one time, and then went silent forever. Fast radio bursts. Somewhere out in deep space, something is screaming. Fast radio bursts are flashes of radio energy that last less than 1,000th of a second. But in that tiny instant, a single burst releases more energy than our sun puts out in an entire year. They come from billions of light years away, from galaxies so distant we can barely find them. And they are everywhere. Scientists estimate one goes off somewhere in the sky roughly every few seconds. All day, every day. For years, every burst was a one-time event. A single flash, then silence forever. Until we found one that repeats. A source firing off bursts again and again, sometimes in strange, almost rhythmic patterns. One repeater sent out bursts on a cycle that lasted 16 days, over and over, like clockwork. Nothing we know of should be able to do that. The leading guess is a magnetar, the ultramagnetic corpse of a dead star, with a magnetic field trillions of times stronger than Earth's. But even that can't explain all of them. Some bursts come from the quiet edges of dead galaxies where no such star should exist. Some arrive in tight clusters, and a rare few carry patterns so regular that, when the first repeater was found, a handful of serious scientists admitted out loud that they couldn't rule out something artificial. They almost certainly aren't messages. But almost is doing a lot of work in that sentence. We've now detected thousands of these bursts, and the honest truth is we still don't fully know what they are, what powers them, or why a few of them seem to follow a schedule. Every few seconds, the universe places a call we can't decode, and hangs up before we can trace where it came from. Ball lightning. For hundreds of years, people all over the world have reported the same impossible thing. During a thunderstorm, a glowing ball of light appears out of nowhere, sometimes the size of a golf ball, sometimes the size of a beach ball, and it floats. It drifts slowly through the air. Witnesses have watched it pass through closed windows, roll down aircraft aisles, and glide across kitchen floors. It hisses. It glows in colors from bright white to electric blue to deep blood red. Then, after a few seconds, it either fades away in silence or explodes. Sailors saw it. Pilots reported it. Even scientists have watched it happen right in front of them and been unable to explain what they were looking at. The problem is simple. Ball lightning shouldn't be able to exist. Normal lightning lasts a fraction of a second. This hovers for seconds, sometimes minutes, holding a perfect glowing shape, as if something is feeding it energy from the inside. For centuries, mainstream science dismissed it as a myth, a trick of frightened eyes. Then, in 2012, Chinese researchers accidentally caught one on video during a real thunderstorm. By pure luck. It was real. It had always been real. Scientists have thrown out dozens of theories. Maybe it's vaporized silicon from lightning-struck soil, glowing as it burns. Maybe it's a pocket of microwaves trapped inside a thin bubble of plasma. Maybe it's something we haven't thought of yet. Every theory explains a few sightings and fails the rest. And yet, with all our technology, we still cannot reliably create it, predict it, or fully explain what it actually is. A ball of fire that ignores the rules of fire, and nobody knows why. The Bloop. In 1997, a network of deep-sea microphones spread across the Pacific, originally built to hunt for enemy submarines, picked up a sound. But this was no submarine. It was a sound so loud, so massive, that it was detected by sensors more than 5,000 kilometers apart. Let that sink in. Something in the ocean made a noise powerful enough to be heard clear across an entire ocean. Scientists named it the Bloop. And here's the unsettling part. The sound rose in pitch in a very specific way, a way that matched the profile of a living creature. But if it really was an animal, it would have to be far, far larger than a blue whale, the biggest creature we know of. Larger than anything that is supposed to exist. For years, the Bloop fed every deep-sea nightmare imaginable. Eventually, scientists offered an answer: an ice quake, the groan of a giant iceberg cracking apart against the Antarctic seafloor. And maybe that's true. But not everyone is convinced the case is fully closed. Because the deep ocean is the least explored place on Earth, we've mapped less than a quarter of its floor in real detail. Whatever made that sound, we heard it exactly once. And we still cannot say for certain what it was, or how big it really was. Dark matter. Look up at the night sky. Every star, every planet, every galaxy you can see adds up to less than 5% of the universe. Just 5. So what is everything else made of? When astronomers measured how fast galaxies spin, they found something that shouldn't be possible. Galaxies rotate so quickly that they should be tearing themselves apart. The stars on the outer edges should be flung off into empty space, but they're not. Something is holding them together. Something with enormous gravity that we cannot see, cannot touch, and cannot detect directly. We call it dark matter. It makes up around 27% of the entire universe, over 5 times more than all the normal matter, all the stars and planets and people combined. It is all around us right now, streaming silently straight through your body as you read this sentence. And here is the humbling truth. We have no idea what it actually is. We've buried detectors deep underground. We've smashed particles together at nearly the speed of light, and dark matter has refused to show itself in a single one of them. And dark matter isn't even the biggest part of the puzzle. An even stranger force, dark energy, makes up the remaining 68%, and it's actively pushing the whole universe apart, faster and faster, for reasons no one understands either. Add it up, and everything humans have ever seen, touched, or studied is a thin skin of foam on top of an ocean we're completely blind to. The overwhelming majority of the universe is made of something we have never seen and cannot name. We are living inside a mystery, surrounded by an invisible ocean, and we're only just realizing that we're soaking wet. The placebo effect. Give a patient a sugar pill, a pill with nothing inside it, no medicine at all, but tell them it's a powerful new drug. And astonishingly, some of them get better. Real, measurable improvement. Less pain, lower blood pressure, fewer symptoms. Their body heals itself from a lie. This is the placebo effect, and it is one of the strangest forces in all of medicine. It's so powerful that every new drug on Earth has to be tested against a fake pill, because the fake pill works often enough to muddy the results. And it gets stranger. A red placebo pill works better as a stimulant than a blue one. A placebo injection works better than a placebo tablet. 2 fake pills work better than a single fake pill. The effect follows real, consistent rules. It just makes no sense that it should. Even more bizarre, in some studies the placebo still works even when patients are told, plainly and upfront, that what they're taking is completely fake. Somehow, the mere expectation of healing can push the body to actually heal. And there's a dark mirror to all of this, called the nocebo effect. If expecting to heal can make you better, then expecting to suffer can genuinely make you worse. People have developed real side effects from fake pills, simply because they were warned they might. In extreme, documented cases, the belief that something would harm them appeared to do exactly that. The same invisible switch that heals can also hurt. We can watch it light up in brain scans. We can measure the chemicals it releases. But we still cannot fully explain how a belief turns into a biological cure. Your mind can heal your body, and medicine's most mysterious tool is one it still doesn't understand: déjà vu. You walk into a room you have never entered, in a city you have never visited, and suddenly, you're certain. You have been here before. You know what the person beside you is about to say. You have lived this exact moment already. And then, just as quickly, the feeling is gone. This is déjà vu, French for already seen, and around 2 out of every 3 people have felt it. It is one of the most common strange experiences a human brain can produce, and science genuinely struggles to explain it. The leading idea is that it's a tiny glitch in memory, a moment where the brain accidentally files a brand new experience into the old memories folder. So something happening right now suddenly feels ancient. Others think it's the 2 halves of the brain slipping a split second out of sync, so you seem to remember something at the very instant you first see it. But here's the real problem. Déjà vu is almost impossible to study. It strikes at random, lasts only a few seconds, and vanishes before any scientist can measure it. We can't trigger it on command. We can barely catch it in the act. And it has an even eerier twin, called jamais vu, the exact opposite feeling. Something completely familiar, like a common word you've written 1,000 times, suddenly looks alien and wrong, as if you've never seen it before in your life. Same brain, same glitch, opposite direction. So the most familiar mystery of them all, a feeling nearly every human has had, is still one we cannot reliably explain. Your own brain is doing something strange, and it refuses to let you watch. The Great Attractor. Our galaxy is moving, not drifting gently, racing. The Milky Way, and everything inside it, including you, is being pulled through space at over 2 million kilometers per hour, dragged toward a single point in the universe, and we cannot see what is pulling us. Roughly 250 million light-years away lies a region of space with a gravitational pull so immense that it is hauling in thousands of entire galaxies, our own included, like water spiraling toward a drain. Scientists named it the Great Attractor. And here's the most maddening part. We can't get a clear look at it. It sits directly behind the crowded, glowing core of our own galaxy, a blinding wall of stars and dust we call the zone of avoidance, which blocks our view of the very thing dragging us toward it. We know it's there only by its pull. We know it is unimaginably massive, and we know we are falling toward it right now, this second, and there is absolutely nothing we can do to slow down or stop. And it may not even be the end of the fall. Newer surveys hint that the Great Attractor is itself being dragged towards something bigger and further away, an almost unthinkably massive structure nicknamed the Shapley Supercluster. In other words, the thing pulling us across the universe might just be another passenger, falling towards something larger still. The single most powerful force shaping the future of our galaxy is something we have never actually seen. We are being pulled into the dark, toward a mystery that is being pulled toward a bigger one, and no one knows what is waiting for us at the bottom. Science has handed us more answers than any generation in history. We've split the atom, read our own DNA, and photographed the shadow of a black hole. But the deeper we look, the more we run into the same humbling truth. For every mystery we finally solve, the universe quietly hands us 3 more that we can't. A signal that spoke only once, a sound too enormous to be alive, an invisible ocean holding the stars in place, and a force in the dark, pulling us somewhere we cannot see. We like to believe we're close to understanding everything. We're not. We are only just getting started, and the biggest questions of all still don't have answers. Thanks for watching. Try not to think about it too hard tonight.